Hello and welcome to another episode of EdgeCraft. I'm your host, Matt, and it is great to see you today. Now, today, we are going to continue working on our secret awesome project. And, I've done a little something since our last video. I just placed down these little blocks right here. See, there's one in each corner. And we're going to be using these blocks as a guide for the thing that we're going to make today. And by the way, I want to apologize that I haven't made a video in a little while. I was enjoying my Thanksgiving weekend with my family, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving too. But anyway, we are back and we are ready to build. So let's get started. All right, so now for this project, we're going to need a lot of dirt. So here's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. I got to build up like that using the dirt, and then I have to break it. And this is going to happen over and over and over again. And then the crazy thing is, if I get up here like, oops, not like that, like this, I can't get back up without using dirt. So yeah, I'm gonna need to use dirt every once in a while. But we're gonna jump right into a super fast time mode kind of deal, because I gotta lay a bunch of blocks down, and I don't think you guys are gonna want to see that. So I will see you guys in a moment. Okay, so for today's super fast time mode, we're going to continue reading in 1 Samuel chapter 4. But before we begin, I just want to fill you in on what's been happening the last couple of episodes. So Samuel was a baby that was not supposed to happen. I mean, his mother couldn't have children. And she prayed to the Lord, and the Lord blessed her with a baby. And so she had promised to dedicate the baby to God as like basically a priest. And so she did that. And so Samuel's growing up with the head priest, Eli, and his 2 sons, who are also priests. And they're kind of sort of teaching him the way to do things. The problem is that Eli and his 2 sons, especially his 2 sons, are very corrupt. They're breaking all kinds of rules. They're just bad people. And Eli knows about it, and he's not doing anything to stop it. So God has told a prophet, and then he told Samuel, basically, I'm taking these guys out. And don't worry about Israel. I'm going to take care of Israel. But these guys, they're done. And so that's kind of where we finished off the last story. God just spoke to Samuel for the very first time. And he told him, hey, this is what's going to happen. And I just want you to be prepared for it. So let's begin. And it's going to sound like this next part of the story doesn't quite fit. But it really does. It's all part of how Eli and his 2 sons are going to meet their end. So 1 Samuel chapter 4. Now the Israelites went out to fight against the Philistines. The Israelites camped at Ebenezer, and the Philistines at Aphek. The Philistines deployed their forces to meet Israel, and as the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 of them on the battlefield. When the soldiers returned to camp, the elders of Israel asked, why did the Lord bring defeat on us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the Lord's covenant from Shiloh, so that he may go with us and save us from the hand of our enemies. So the people sent men to Shiloh, and they brought back the ark of the covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. And Eli's 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. Okay, let's pause there. So here's what's going on. The Israelites went out to battle. And God said, go ahead and take this land and fight these Philistines. But then they lost the battle, which was a little confusing for them because they're like, wait a second. Why did God let us lose? We always win. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to put God in front of us and make sure that he's there in the battle so that we win. And they're not praying to God. They're not asking God for victory. They're using God. They're saying, okay, let's take God's ark. Basically, it's a box where the 10 Commandments are located. And since that's kind of like God's footstool on earth, we're going to use him to win this battle. Well, God isn't something to be used. He's someone to pray to ask for help and guidance, and he helps you because he loves you. Well, they're not getting that right now. And now the two priests, Hophni and Phinehas, they should know this, but they're kind of corrupt, and they're like, yes, let's go off to battle, and we'll take the ark with us, and this will all work out just fine. And it doesn't, so let's keep reading. All right. So when the ark of the Lord's covenant came into the camp, all Israel raised such a great shout that it shook the ground. Hearing the uproar, the Philistines asked, "What's all this shouting in the Hebrew camp?" When they learned that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid. "A god has come into the camp," they said. "Oh no, nothing like this has happened before. We're doomed. Who will deliver us from the hand of these mighty gods? They are the gods who struck the Egyptians with all kinds of plagues in the wilderness. Be strong, Philistines. Be men, or you will be subject to the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Be men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and the Israelites were defeated. And every man fled to his tent. The slaughter was very great. Israel lost 30,000 foot soldiers. The ark of God was captured, and Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, died. This is interesting because God said that they would die on the same day, and they did. And what's worse is the Ark of the Covenant is now lost into enemy hands. But don't let that worry you. The story gets very interesting. Let's find out what happens next. That same day, a Benjamite ran from the battle line and went to Shiloh with his clothes torn and dust on his head. When he arrived, there was Eli sitting on his chair by the side of the road, watching, because his heart feared for the ark of God. When the man entered the town and told what had happened, the whole town sent up a cry. Eli heard the outcry and asked, "What is the meaning of this uproar?" The man hurried over to Eli, who was 98 years old and whose eyes had failed so that he could not see. He told Eli, "I have just come from the battle line. I fled from it this very day." Eli asked, "What happened, my son?" The man who brought the news replied, "Israel fled before the Philistines, and the army has suffered heavy losses. Also, your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God has been captured." When he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell backward off his chair by the side of the gate. His neck was broken, and he died. For he was an old man, and he was heavy, and had led Israel for 40 years. Now this is interesting. Notice that Eli died not because he heard that his two sons were killed in battle, but he died because the Ark of the Covenant was taken. And he fell backwards in his chair, and he broke his neck, and it says that he was very heavy. So he must have been a fat man, kind of corrupt, eating things he shouldn't have been eating. But anyway, the story continues. His daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant and near the time of delivery. When she heard the news that the ark of God had been captured and that her father-in-law and husband were dead, she went into labor and gave birth, but was overcome by her labor pains. As she was dying, the women attending her said, "Don't despair, you have given birth to a son." But she did not respond or pay any attention. She named the boy Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel," because of the capture of the ark of God and the death of her father-in-law and her husband. She said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured." So even Phinehas' own wife is really, really upset about the ark. Not so much her husband. So she gives birth and gives her son a horrible name, Ichabod, which isn't a good name. It basically means the glory of God has departed us. So this is not good. Let's keep reading. After the Philistines had captured the ark of God, they took it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. Then they carried the ark into Dagon's temple and set it beside Dagon. When the people of Ashdod rose early the next day, there was Dagon, fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. They took Dagon and put him back in his place. But the following morning when they rose, there was Dagon, fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. His head and his hands had been broken off and were lying on the threshold. Only his body remained. That is why, to this day, neither the priests of Dagon nor any other who enter Dagon's temple at Ashdod step on the threshold. All right, we're going to actually stop our story there, but this is pretty interesting. So the Philistines had taken the ark and they put it in the temple of their god, Ashdod. And or I said, in the temple in Ashdod, they worshipped a god named Dagon. So they put the ark in Dagon's temple, and they went to sleep that night. And when they woke up the next morning, Dagon had fallen over. And Dagon's just a statue. He's not real. He's not a real god, but he fell over. Well, the next day, they picked him back up, and then the next day he fell over again, and his head and his hands were broken off. Now, who do you think did that? Clearly God. God is saying, listen, I am the only one with any power in this temple. So let's get back to the Minecraft, because I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I have done some work. Ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 blocks. Bam! And it is finished. Wow. This took a long time. And I'd like to say that I'm done, but we're not done because I've got to get rid of all this dirt now. And unfortunately for the top bits, I needed a lot of dirt. Look at all that. Look at that. But look at how cool this looks now. All right, so now the trick is we've got to scaffold up. So I'm going to do that right here. And we're just going to see how much of this we can get from here. This is going to be no problem. All right. I will be back with you in a moment when I've got all this dirt cleared out. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the base. Dun, dun, dun. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at how awesome that turned out. Oh, that's so good. So good. I took a potion of speed because I wanted to look at it from different angles. Man, that thing looks awesome. Look at that. I love the way this turned out. It's just so cool. And we could do so much with it. Oh my goodness. So obviously, I built it mostly for looks. It doesn't really do anything. But we can build things up here. And I want to go up here and just look. Oh yeah, look underneath it. This is just cool. It's perfectly symmetrical. Perfect geometric. These are parabolas, basically pulled into a 3-dimensional shape. Oh, this is so cool. And look, we're almost at the height right now of the floating block, and that's definitely higher than it. I think this is the highest thing I have built, because that tower over there, I don't know which is taller. One of the two. But yeah, we can do some cool things up here. We can build some farms if we want to. We can build some fountains. We can build, I don't know, cool stuff, whatever we want. But yeah, and this just gives us such a cool view of everything that we've done. There, look, there's the haunted house, the waterfall, the tower. Oh yeah, meat cookers, iron farm, cactus farm, everything. We can see the skeleton farm way over there. And I bet if we're over here, can we see the zombie farm off in the distance? Not quite. I mean, that tree right there is right on top of it. But we can't. Oh, yep, there it is. I see it right there. Like, right. You see it? You see it? If I turn towards it, you can't see it. So look right between those two trees. There it is. There, yep, there it is. There's our zombie farm. Anyway, this is incredible. I'm just really excited by it, and I just want to say thanks. Thanks for being with me for this. This was a fun one. This was a fun little build. And you know, I'd like to say that we're kind of sort of done with this, but we're not done yet. I mean, there's going to be plenty of stuff up here and around this, and things I could do to this to make it look even cooler. I don't know. Maybe there's something I can do with lava. Maybe there's something I can do with some red glass. I don't know. Maybe some spikes or something. I don't know. But hit me up in the comments with what you think I should do with this next, or if, it's done. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like this and like the video. It really helps us out. All right, thanks guys. Have a good day. God bless. Bye.